Further thoughts on the big fights tonight. Thinking back to that crazy Sanchez Aguilera fight. Hope I'm saying his last name right. You could just tell that Aguilera was trying to look for a way out of the fight. You know, at first he was doing all right. He got hit with some hard shots, and I thought he took them well. Like one time he was complaining to the ref. He's looking over, and Sanchez went, blow. Caught him right while he was complaining. They say protect yourself at all times, and that's what they mean. I think he learned that lesson. Kind of like Floyd Mayweather did to, what was his name, Ortiz, I think it was. You know, you look over here complaining, it's not the other, it's not your opponent's job to sit there and say, okay, I'm going to chill out while he complains to the ref. No, his job is to punch. So if you're going to complain to the ref, complain with your hands up. I think he learned the hard way. And like I said, his acting was terrible. You need to go to acting school because that was just garbage. If you're healthy enough to walk to the ropes and you're fine, I mean, what is a delayed reaction? All of a sudden you get to the ropes like, oh. Enough of that, though. Back to the Saunders Canelo fight, man. Canelo Alvarez, special fighter. You can't seem to get into his head. Billy Joe Saunders seemed to try everything to get into this guy's head. You know, he's talking about, him and his dad was talking about pulling out of the fight if they didn't get the proper ring size. And this ring was so big. I mean, what did he want? The Dallas Cowboys football stadium? This ring was huge. So he had plenty of room to move around and all that. But what I really came to talk about was Canelo's punch placement, which is something a lot of people don't talk about. You know, Canelo doesn't overwhelm people with his volume of punches, but he overwhelms you with the power, that bass drum I was talking about. So you might be outlanding him, but this guy knows where to place his punches, and he's like putting money in the bank for later. And by the time you get to the later rounds, your body's like completely torn up and giving out on you. So he knows where to place punches, and like I said, the dude hits like a heavyweight. He spars with heavyweights. He's a great fighter. It's going to take somebody really special to beat this guy. And I know he lost to Floyd back in the day. I believe recently he said if he had been in his prime, he would have beat Floyd. I didn't see the fight when he fought Floyd. I didn't see it being overwhelmingly in Floyd's favor like everybody else talked about. I think a lot of people just go off of Floyd's reputation or something like that, and they think, oh, well, this is Floyd, so he's dominating. But it didn't look that lopsided to me. So Canelo is a great fighter, knows his punch placement. Let's see, what else do I want to talk about? I already covered the Fred Sanchez Aguilera fight. I talked about the fight between Soto and don't want to mess the guy's name up. But great fight. Ref was a little early on stopping that one. Yeah, I heard, I think his name is Mark Tibbs, the corner man to Saunders, and he was talking about that Saunders' orbital bone was broken, so he's actually the one I think that pulled the plug on the fight. And I think it was a good decision. The guy's got a big career ahead of him. I believe he's only 31 years old. You know, why ruin his career right here? You know, yeah. Great night of action. Like I said, Saunders did a lot of talking, tried to play mind games. They talked about pulling out of the fight. He wanted a, 22, whatever, foot ring or whatever it is, and the ring was huge. Like I said, what did he want? The Dallas Cowboys football stadium. The ring was huge. You got that. Canelo worked with whatever he had. They got into it before the fight. Saunders' team was walking by, and Canelo yelled something at him, letting them know that he thought Billy Joe was a coward, I guess, for talking about pulling out of the fight because he didn't get the ring size he wants. Anyway, punch placement is an underrated thing you don't hear people talk about a lot. You have to know where to place your punches, when and where. You know, there's certain spots that are tender. You know, the ears can throw off your equilibrium, the temple, the point of the chin. You know, you hit somebody right here, they will be out if you hit them in the right spot. So, you know, punch placement is very important, especially if you're fighting a guy that's like full of energy and you're like, man, I got to slow this down. This dude's got way more energy than me. So you hit him with a couple of body shots. And I hear a lot of announcers talk about, like the guy on the undercard with Sanchez. They're saying Sanchez should mix it up and, you know, go to Aguilera's body more. It's kind of pointless sometimes when the guy has a thick midsection, because it's not, believe it or not, washboard stomachs don't take as good of a punch as something thickly padded. Like, you could hit Foreman in the body all day when he made his comeback. It wasn't going to bother him like it would somebody like Evander Holyfield, you know, with a flat washboard stomach. It looks great, shows you trained hard, but bodies like that don't actually take punches as well as somebody with a thick stomach. So you keep going to a thick guy, his stomach area with punches, and it's not going to harm him as much. So I can see why Sanchez, who has a big amateur career, knows, you know, I'm just going to headhunt and, you know, take him out like that. Sure enough, he throws that punch, misses, and it wasn't even his fault that the punch hit him in the back of the head. Really, he's throwing a hook, the guy ducks, so as he's ducking, his fist comes around and grazes him. You know, it's Aguilera's job to duck, and it's Sanchez's job to punch. It wasn't a foul, and if it was, it wasn't intentional, and it definitely didn't cause that much damage. Trust me, the dude was acting, bad acting. Tyler Perry sitcom acting, that bad. Anyway, it's the J. Roos Theory. That's my further thoughts on the Canelo Saunders fight, on the Sanchez Aguilera fight, and on the Soto fight. If I forgot anything, I'll do another video on the topic. J. Roos Theory, be fearless, hit the like button, comment, share, subscribe. And if you don't, I might knock you out. Yay, yay.